I'm Sebastian, and this is for Mrs. Landreth's class, and I'm reading Maebelle Suitcase by Tricia, Tusa. Maebelle was 108 years old and had spent the last 8 living happily among the treetops. A fascination with birds had inspired her to build her own treehouse. Maebelle made hats and sold them to a little shop in town. For the moment, she had put aside her work and was adding the finishing touch of special project, her entry in the town's annual hat contest. The hat was finished, and Maebelle was very, very pleased. Out on her porch, she relaxed. From up above, she heard a chorus of goodbyes. Winter was on its way. Her neighbors were heading south. There was a knock on the door. It was a young Bengal. "Maebelle, may I borrow your suitcase?" he asked. "I promise I will return it in a few months." "Now, Pumpkin, why on earth do you want my suitcase?" I can't leave home without my belongings." Maebelle watched Binkle fill the suitcase. In went an oak branch, a fork at the end, some round rocks, and a small pile of dirt. He added a few daisies and gardenias, and an armful of elm leaves. Then he tucked it in his nest. His nest went in his suitcase. I'm ready to fly south now, Maebelle. Binkle sighed sadly. "I'm sure I'll miss you." "Cheer up, Binkle. You'll be back. Besides, traveling is fun." Binkle gave Maebelle a big hug. Over and over again, he tried to fly up and away. Whoa! But each time he landed flat, he landed flat on his back. "You silly bird," said Maebelle. "You'd be a lot better off if you'd let go of this load." "Leave it behind? Absolutely not. I couldn't." But at least come inside and rest a while I work on my project," she said. "What project?" "I'm making a hat for a big contest tomorrow, but I can't find the certain things I need." "Like what?" "For one, a handsome oak branch, forked at the end." Maebelle sighed. "I just don't know what to do. Maybe I can help," said Binkle. And away he went. Binkle returned. "I couldn't find the branch you were describing," but he reached into his suitcase. "Will this do?" "Perfect," said Maebelle. "Now if only I could find some shiny round rocks and a rich brown earth." "I happen to have some of that inside my suitcase," Binkle exclaimed, surprised. "Oh, Binkle, thank you." "There is something else I can help you with. I need some daisies and gardenias." "No problem. I'll be back in a flash. And if you find some elm leaves, I'll greatly appreciate them." Maebelle called out, "Right." Binkle returned almost immediately, his wings empty. "Couldn't you find the flowers?" Maebelle asked. "Well," said Binkle, "it seems I have just what you need in the suitcase. You can return everything to me after the contest, and then it will be my way." "Binkle, you have such help. how I can begin. Dinkle watched in awe while Maebelle created the hat. While she finished, he cried, "Bravo!" and true masterpiece. But something was missing. Maebelle said, "May I have a suggestion?" Dinkle asked. Carefully, he pulled his nest out the suitcase and placed it on top of the hat. Inside, the last lay from the shell which Dinkle had been born. In silence, Maebelle and Dinkle stared proudly at the sight before them. "How will I wear it?" Dinkle whispered Maebelle. "Easy," said Dinkle. "I've got the answer right here." The next day arrived, and a happy day it was. Maebelle did not win the contest, however. The judges invented a new prize for Maebelle and Dinkle. They received an award for the most original hat. Furthermore, the hat was permanent display at the town museum and preserved in honor always. As Maebelle and Dinkle headed back to the treehouse, a cool gust of air swept by. Dinkle shuddered. "I can take this cold. I really must move on." "I know I'll miss you," Maebelle said. "I'll miss you too, Maebelle. But I'll be back." Dinkle left that afternoon. Maebelle knew he was taking a detour to get one last proud look at the museum. Once along, Maebelle placed the hat and ordinarily made for the contest on her head. "Maybe next year," she said softly. Neat. This book is Maebelle's Suitcase, and what I thought was funny about the book is when every time the bird tried to carry the suitcase, he would be like, "Woohoo!" Oh, good. And if he did it all the way there, he'd be woohoo, 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 woohoo. And if he came to a hole in the ground, he'd probably fall down the hole if he landed directly in the hole. And and Maebelle was smart because he didn't want the bird to fly home with his belongings. And so they would always be in a museum, and so he would appreciate and forget all about his belongings. So they're in a museum, and so he forgot all about it. So he flew south, and maybe when he was all the way there, he noticed, "Oh, maybe a little smart. She tricked me." And it was quite weird that she actually made her head out of dirt, and also stones. Well, I wouldn't say stones, I would say rocks, because they're mostly rocks. And I thought it was quite weird because he literally, there's only one branch, and all that, and it was kind of decorated because it had those white stones. And it was quite pretty. So, bye!